Welcome to class. In this lecture, I'm going to show you the tools that I typically use when I'm drawing. We're going to start with the type of paper that I use. This is 110-pound cardstock. It's a bit thicker than normal printer paper. And the reason I like to use it is because of the way the lead feels when you're drawing on it. And it's a lot sturdier. It can take like a little bit more abuse, I guess. It doesn't dent as easily when you're drawing on it. That's typically why I like to choose this paper over normal printer paper or anything else like that. And I like to stay with white paper. You can use any color paper that you want, but if you're drawing with graphite, then white paper or maybe toned paper is probably your best choice. And for inking, I like to use vellum, and I'll use this over top of my pencil drawing, and it's transparent enough where I can see the drawing underneath, and very good at not bleeding when you're inking on it. When you flip it over, ink is not going to be transferring onto your nice pencil drawing. It stays nicely within this paper, and the pen flows very nice on it. It doesn't catch at all, and it's not fibrous. It's more like sort of a wax paper. Think of the cooking parchment. It's similar to that, but not quite. It's not quite as greasy. This is what I'm going to show you how to ink on. This is the pencil that I like to use the most. This is a Staedtler lead holder. Very precise type drawing. And it's different from a normal pencil because it holds these leads that you can buy individually. These are Staedtler leads, and they come in these tubes. And you can buy packs of 3. I typically see 2H and HB. And right now I'm going to be using 2H. That's what I typically use. It's harder than HB. 2H is further down the H scale rather than further down the B scale. And that's gonna make for a less smudgy lead. So how you use this is you put it in here and you have this type of sharpener. This is specifically designed for this lead holder, and this is Staedtler as well. And there's a serrated type of piece of metal inside of here, and you spin the pencil around and it will grate your lead down, and it can get to a very, very fine point, which is another reason why I like these pencils. So you can get those really fine detailed lines. Yeah, and that's the Staedtler lead holder pencil. And another pencil that I like to use for gesture drawing, light loose drawing, is the this Faber-Castell pencil. It's just nice and big, and it's not very good for doing detail. Unlike this one, this is what I use for detail. This will let me get the loose shape of the drawing really quickly, and when I'm not really caring too much about adding details or getting really, really intense about it, it'll let me get the gestures of the characters. It'll let me block things in really easily and have a nice finish where it doesn't look too precise, and it's very good for that. And the eraser that I like to use is a Staedtler eraser holder. This has interchangeable inserts, and it's good for detail erasing because it's so small. The tip is so small, unlike those big ones that you might buy, or a gum eraser. And the more you use this, you find that it gets to an even finer point. So it's a really good eraser to have, especially when you're doing detailed type stuff. So when I'm inking, I also like to use a Micron pen. This is a 0.5. The 0.5 just determines the width of the nib on the pen. You can get different sizes like 0.1. That's just going to be a smaller one. So the higher up you go, the thicker it is. The difference between this and a dip pen is that the dip pen allows for a lot more variation in your line, and allows for a variation in what kind of ink you're gonna get. This is a black pen. These are really nice. I really like the way that they draw. It's archival quality ink. It's just a really quality product. And this is a red colored pencil, erasable. And this is very good for beginning a drawing because it's erasable, and then you would do your inks or you would do your pencil over top of something like this. It has a cool effect. It kind of makes your drawing pop a little bit, and I'm going to be using it to demonstrate when we're learning about shapes and the 3D nature of shapes. I'm going to be using this to differentiate between my graphite and this is a compass. This is good for one thing. It's good for drawing circles. It has lead on one side and a needle on the other side. This one here has interchangeable lead tips, which is good because you don't want to have to throw out your compass once you've used it too many times. And this will allow to increase the diameter or radius of your circle. Another tool that I find useful for drawing circles is the circle stencil with many different sizes. I have 2 of these with more sizes, but I find it produces nicer circles in a shorter period of time than actually using a compass. Plus you don't have like a needle mark on your page after you're done. And also you're going to need a ruler. I prefer a ruler that's see-through, so when you're drawing on your page, you're able to see your drawing underneath and exactly where you are on the page, rather than having a steel ruler or a wooden ruler. I feel this is a better choice when you're doing drawings. Those are the tools that I like to use, and we'll see you in the next video.